Hey Most Amazing Top 10 family, I'm your host Jay Durain and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. Austin, Texas, a little blue dot in a big red state. I think that's what it is, I've never been there. I heard it's an amazing college party town, so it sounds like my kind of place. Anywhere that has a bunch of partiers with disposable income has Jay Durain written all over it. But you at home aren't watching this video to learn about people who challenge alcohol poisoning on a regular basis. This is about the top 10 scary Austin urban legends, and do we ever have some good ones for you here today. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Also stick around for the whole video because I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts, which you at home love so much. If you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. And if anyone at home wants some more Most Amazing Top 10 content, check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We are starting to do Facebook exclusive content. If any of you at home want to grab some Most Amazing Top 10 merch, look at the link in the description below. Use the offer code MA10 that will give you $5 off, and without taking any longer, let's get into this list. At number 10 we have the Servant Girl Annihilator. Now this guy sounds more like a comic book villain from the 80s than something that belongs on an urban legends list, but trust me, the SGA is a great way to kick off this list. Between the years of 1884 and 1885, 8 different young women were hacked to death with an axe. The killer was never caught, and it was suspected that these crimes were all committed by the same man. This came way before the term serial killer was even coined. The public had no idea what these horrific events meant. Now these killings aren't legend, they did happen. Where the legend comes in, these murders took place 3 years before there was a hint of Jack the Ripper. Some people think that the Servant Girl Annihilator and Jack the Ripper are one in the same. That when he was done with his crimes in Texas, he felt that the cops were starting to pick up on him, so he took off to England to lay low, but his urge to kill was too much for him to ignore, and he spent those 3 years learning how to be a better murderer. And then when the time was right, he kicked up again and became one of the most famous serial killers in history. And frankly, we will never know the truth. At number 9 we have Buffalo Billiards. Now we've got a haunted billiards room. That sounds like the worst combination imaginable. You're playing pool and it looks like you have the perfect shot lined up, and for some unknown reason the ball just swerves to the left. Meanwhile, the guy you're playing has been bribing the ghost all night. Well, if you're ever in Buffalo Billiards in Austin and you're betting on pool, you should bet on the guy who can talk to dead people, because this place is packed full of them. There's even an old bartender tradition that when you start your shift, once you walk in and everything is set up, you say good morning to the resident ghost Fred, and then you pour him a fresh crispy boy. Fred likes it when there's a cold one sitting for him on the bar. If the bartender forgets, Fred will make a big fuss and break a bunch of stuff. Maybe even screw up your pool game. You don't want to mess with Fred. At number 8 we have enemy territory. Sitting right in Austin, Texas is the Frost Bank Tower. This place is an engineering landmark. Coated in mirrored glass, it stands as one of the tallest buildings in all of Austin. But many of you know that the mascot throughout all of Austin is the Longhorn. One of their biggest rivals is Rice University in Houston. Now their mascot is an owl. The architect who built the Frost Bank Tower is from Rice University, and there's an urban legend that he built the tower to look like an owl. Did he build this as a monument to the Houston University right in the heart of Austin? That is a prank of monumental standards. I had to put it on this list. From certain angles it does kind of look like the head of an owl at the peak of the tower, and one of the best slaps in the face I have ever heard of. Now this legend has never been confirmed, and if I was the architect I would never admit to it either. You would never get a job again, but I hope that every time he goes by and looks at this tower, this goes on in his head. At number 7 we have the glowing clouds. For anyone suffering from seasonal depression, I might have the cure for you. Austin is apparently surrounded by purple glowing clouds. At dusk you can look out into the sunset, and it said that these clouds will be glowing purple. What causes these clouds to glow the luscious purple? Is it some alien spaceship that has some sort of cloaking device, and when the sun hits it at the right angle it has a purple light? Is it some sort of radiation that has floated off of Austin and is slowly turning the whole city into X-Men? Well, no one really has any idea why the clouds glow purple. The leading theory is that there's lithium deposits in the clouds. On the bright side, people say that the purple glow makes everyone in Austin super happy. So if you're suffering from the sads, this is the place to go for a quick vacation. There's also the theory that the purple glow is from the government using an experimental mind control drug on Austin to make everyone content, but I'm gonna let everyone at home decide for themselves why it glows purple, because no one really knows. At number 6 we have the clay pit. Let's move past mind control drugs and right back into ghosts. The clay pit is known as one of the most haunted places in the whole city of Austin. The ghosts that lurk in this establishment have been known to be big pranksters. They will move things around throughout the building and sometimes cause dishes or cups to shatter out of nowhere, and when they do so you will hear them giggling. I wonder if they break so much stuff it's like considered in the budget. They're like, this month we gotta set aside $300 for random ghost stuff and $10 for Spotify. It's so unprofessional when a restaurant has Spotify ads. Ugh, I never want to go back. Too fancy. At number 5 we have the Mary Moody Northern Theater. Mary Moody sounds so much like Moaning Myrtle that there should be no surprise that there is a lovesick ghost locked away in it. The Mary Moody Northern Theater is attached to the illustrious St. Edward's University and has been home to a tormented spirit for quite some time. It's said that it's the ghost of a woman and she is quite volatile. She will slap, push, and assault some of the people who go through the theater, and she will also mess around with all the furniture in the building. If you really piss her off, you might hear her blood-curdling scream that will send anyone who hears it running out of the building. Now, why is this ghost so hostile? Well, other than the fact she's dead, no one really knows. The legend says that this was the ghost of a girl who had a broken heart. She was dating someone in the university who dumped her. She was unable to deal with the waves of sadness and then came into the theater to end her life by hanging herself off the rafters. Some people have said when they've been walking through the theater, they've seen a ghostly noose hanging down. At number 4 we have Charlie the Giant Catfish. There have been tales of a 10-foot long catfish that lives in Lake Travis. It's said that the fish is so big that it could eat a man whole and would digest him while he's still alive. This lake monster has apparently been spotted by frightened scuba divers who have come face to face with the beast and lived to tell the tale. But I am here to tell you that this story is only half true. There is a massive catfish that lives in Lake Travis, but he sits around 5 feet long. Still massive, but not nearly as threatening. Also, he has never tried to suck down a man in one piece, but I still don't want to go swimming in there because I don't want to be there when he tries, you know? At number 3 we have the Pink Palace. If you're a fan of music history, then the Pink Palace is somewhere you have to visit. The building has been standing for over a century, and in the 60s it was a home for vagabonds of all different shapes and sizes. The 60s was a time for cultural revolution, and it was homes like this that birthed the minds that would influence the shift in humanity. One of the most famous bodies that ever walked through these dusty rose halls was Janis Joplin. Some people think she wrote many of her songs while hanging out with the bizarre characters that called this place home, and since she's passed, her soul has returned to the building. People who've walked through this building have said they've seen her ghost trailing from room to room. Some people can hear a disembodied voice humming her music. A house with famous ghosts in it, that's pretty damn cool. Maybe if you're an aspiring musician, you can go there and do a little seance and try and summon her for some guidance. At number 2 we have man-eating monsters. One of the most famous bodies of water in Austin, Texas is Travis Lake. We just covered that with the catfish. Beneath the surface there's said to be something waiting to crush the bones of any person who's foolish enough to take a dip in the water. There's apparently either one or more massive man-eating alligators that are constantly waiting to satisfy their endless hunger. This legend comes from a prank that was pulled by the massively successful author Berkeley Breathed, where he released hundreds of newborn alligators into the lake. Now there are a lot of opinions on whether or not this actually happened. Some people think that this is 100% true and you should never go in the water. Now Berkeley says this was just something he wrote in the University of Texas Campus magazine while he was a student at the school. But I'm gonna sit on the safe side on this one and stay on the beach. I'm gonna sit in the sun while everyone else takes the risk of being torn in half by a modern dinosaur. And for our number 1 spot we have missing kidneys. One of the best parts of going to college is the chance to go on endless benders. But here's a cautionary tale for anyone who thinks they can't drink too much. There's a story about a student from the University of Texas. One night he decided to go all out and see if there was a limit to the amount of booze he could consume. He pushed himself to the end of his rope, passed out somewhere random, and woke up in a groggy state up to his neck in ice. Freezing, scared, and confused, he found a note taped to his face. It said, "Call 911 or you will die." When you find a note like that on your face, you don't ignore it. So he did, and paramedics quickly found that one of his kidneys had been stolen. Next time you want to get blackout, remember there might be a monster waiting to take something that you can't get back. Alright everyone, and as promised I'm going to be doing, that is our list, and as promised I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts. If you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. I pick new pets every day, so if you don't get picked one day, you can message back another day. I have tons of these to do, so if it takes me a little while to get back to, I'm very sorry. Without taking any longer, let's shout out some pets. First we have Ida's little fur baby. This guy's the cutest puppy of all time, I love it. Zachary sent in a picture of Pinky. She's got big old cute ears, it's so great. Alistair sent in Angel. She looks like a nice little snuggle buddy, someone you can watch movies with. Next we have Christina's cat Olivia. She looks like she's thinking about the deep wonders of the world. After that we have Alex's dog Cookie. That's a big happy smile, she loves car rides. And finishing off we have Destiny's dogs Bella and Jax. They look like they're best friends. I know those guys play together all day. You throw the ball for them and they always play together. Alright everyone, that is our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been Che Dorena, and I guess I gotta go to Austin and party and see if I get my kidney taken.